Morning all, welcome to another Thursday morning's wake up and start the day session. So today we're moving away from the yoga lattes that we were doing now that a lot of yoga postures are becoming quite uncomfortable to perform, and we've actually changed the concept of this session now to prenatal, so Pre-Natal Pilates and Stretch. We are going to incorporate a couple of yoga moves, so a little bit of a standing flow at the beginning, but it'll just be a short section, so just to help open up the body. So although it's called prenatal, that's really to give me a little bit of protection, really, to be able to avoid moving into the harder poses. It's still going to be a really suitable workout for anyone wanting practice at a lower level, at a slightly more gentle level. So just because it's called prenatal, don't let that put you off at all. It's going to be a really nice gentle warm-up session for the day. So we're going to look at engaging your core, identifying any postural corrections that we need to make, having a good got out of bed stretch, and just getting ready for the day. So we're going to be starting standing, as always, with the mobilization section, a short standing yoga sequence, and then we're going to pop down onto the floor. We're going to be hands and knees, and we're going to also be down on our back for a short period of time today as well. So let's just make sure that you have enough space, that you can lie down, that you can take a big wide step when you're standing, so non-slip floor, and something comfortable to lie on, so whether that's a nice bit of carpet or your practice mat. And we will get going. Let's hop on up. Okay, so I'm just checking that I'm in the frame here. Okay, lovely. So what we're going to do, because this is now, we are thinking about prenatal, if anybody is pregnant and needs to just have a little bit of room for their bump when they roll down to the floor, what we're going to do is just take our feet very slightly wider than we might do if we were setting up for a regular Pilates session. So rather than being directly underneath my hip bones here, which means that when I roll down there's nowhere for this bump to go, I'm going to go very slightly wider, just a couple of inches, so that the bump can actually sit down between my legs and I still get the chance to roll my spine. So let's choose which foot option we're going to take, and then we still want to level up across the front of those big toes, so just check that the pelvis is level. Have a little play through your feet, so maybe come up onto tiptoes, tip back onto your heels, spread those toes out as you come back, and then just allow those feet just to relax down into the floor. Soften those knees a touch, and let's draw that tailbone underneath us. So rather than the front of the pelvis tipping forward, especially if you've got the extra weight here of a bump, that can be persuading that pelvis to tip forward, so it's certainly exacerbating my pelvic tilt already. So let's just be aware of bringing that tailbone underneath us. That's going to allow these lower back muscles to come back to their original length and take the pressure off that lower back. When the pelvis is tipped forward, it compresses all the muscles and the discs at the base of the spine and can make it feel a little bit ouchy. So tuck that tailbone underneath. Let's start to lift up a little bit taller, as we always do. So think lifting into chest, chin and crown. Relax those shoulders back and down, and let's start by taking our sinky chin, have a little nod up towards the ceiling, so just have a little peek at that ceiling there, and then just nod that chin all the way back down. And again, if you nod up towards the ceiling, and then just nod that chin back down. And then just bring that head back up. So chin is parallel to the floor again. We're peeking right shoulder. Come back through the center and just gently peek left shoulder. And then if we just come back to the center, we're going to drop that right ear down towards that shoulder. And then let's just come up on top again and just pop that left one down. So down we go again. And then come on up, level yourself up by just dropping that chin one more time. And then head comes back up. So like we did on Monday, let's roll your shoulders forwards, up, back and down. So really lovely big exaggerated roll of those shoulders. Draw the shoulders all the way around the imaginary clock face. Let's do one more. So round we go. Lovely. And then if you breathe in, take your arms up, but keep the shoulders slid down, and then exhale down. So I want you to think about as the arms come up, the shoulder blades stay down. So exhaling down, inhaling up twice more, exhaling down. So a lovely big gap between shoulders and ears. Let's come on up and relax it down. Now take 2 of those shoulder rolls back for me. So over you go, really lovely and exaggerated. Feel the shoulders squeeze together at the back. And then inhaling up through the front, exhaling down at the sides. And one more time, inhale up at the front and exhale down to the sides. Lovely. Let's take your right arm up above your head. Keeping this pelvis lovely and stable. Inhale, exhale, over you go, side extension. Inhale back to center, and again exhale, over you go. Feel like you're opening up through this right side body. You're going to do 2 more. So over you go, right into those fingertips. One more time. Over you go. Let's stay here, stay here. Soften your knees a bit. And take a lovely big circle down with your arm. And when you get to the bottom, just let your arms hang and roll yourself all the way back up and just roll those shoulders back. Lovely. So let's take that left one up. Inhale and just exhale. Open up from that left hip and then come back to center. And again, over you go. Come back to center. So let's do 2 more of those. So over you go. Last one, you're going to hold it there. So we're going to hold it here. Bend your knees a little and down you go. Pause at the bottom like a rag doll and then start to roll that spine all the way back up again. Release the shoulders. Now your shoulders are going to roll forwards. So if you squeeze the shoulder blades together before you go up and over, and again, so squeeze together, up and over. And then if we just do 2 more of those, together, up and over. And just do 1 more of those. So together, up and over, relax those shoulders down. Inhale up, exhale down the front. Keep those shoulders lovely and low. So inhale up the sides, exhale down the front, lovely, gently. And again, we'll do 2 more of those. Keep thinking about your pelvis. Is that tailbone still underneath you? Has it just popped out the back? So just keep thinking about that posture and then relaxing it here. So twice more, roll the shoulders forwards. So squeeze the shoulder blades, come up and over the front. Let's do 1 more here. Inhale up the circle, exhaling down. Lovely. Let's do that 1 more time. So inhale up and exhale down. Lovely. Last time, right arm goes up over the head. Just twice here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, over, back to center. Let's hold it this time. So over you go, pause, bending the knees slightly as you sweep down, and then rolling up through the center. Left one comes up, inhale, breath. Exhale, over you go. And let's do that one more time. So over you go, pause. Bend your knees just a touch, and then down you come. And roll up through the center. Lovely big shoulder roll as you get to the top. Just do one more of those so we know that those shoulders are sat down and back. Lovely. Right then, folks, so I'm just going to lose a layer because it's actually pretty warm. I'm going to turn side on now to the camera, but you can obviously stay exactly where you are. So I'm just going to turn side on to the camera because what we're going to be doing is taking a lovely big step forwards into a warrior one position in a moment. So now if you pop those feet squarely underneath your hips, and let's just draw that tailbone under again. Relax those shoulders back and down. Just make sure in front of you you've got enough space to take a large step forwards. So we're just going to take the arms up and over. We're going to frame our ears with our arms. They're pointing right up to 12 o'clock. And then we're going to come down to a lovely tabletop back. So if you draw your belly button in, I want you to soften your knees, let the hips come back, and move yourself over into a lovely table. So what we're trying to do here is keep a lovely parallel line, fingertips, shoulders, through the hips and out to the tailbone. So need strength in the lower back. Take another breath, and then if we come up, 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 and then just release those arms down. Just correct that tailbone as you come down. Let's go again. So we're going to inhale up, slide those shoulder blades down as you frame your ears, and then have a lovely tuck in of your tummy muscles as you think about hinging over. Just check that your knees aren't locked back. And hold. Keep the belly button in and the pelvic floor up. And again, let's come on up. And exhale down. Correct that tailbone if you need to. So we're just going to do one more of those. So if you come on up, drop the shoulder blades down as you frame those ears, belly button, pelvic floor. Over you go. Good, lovely. Soften those knees, don't lock the knee joints back. Come on up. And then release those arms all the way down to the floor. So we're going to step our left leg forward. So if you take a lovely big step with your left leg, go back a little bit on your right leg. And what I want you to do is have your back foot pointing at 45 degrees, okay? 45 degrees with those toes. So it feels like you can roll into the outside edge of your back foot. And that's going to help to make you feel really stable. But then we are going to bring these hips to the front. Check that both of our knees are soft, and then let's soften a little into this front knee, so into your warrior one. So we're going to take the arms on up here again, we're going to frame those ears, and we're going to have the smallest of back bends. So just think about opening through the chest as we take the eye line up very slightly. Keep sliding the shoulder blades down. So very small movements. And then we're going to bring the upper body forward just like we did when we had our arms together just now. So keep framing those ears, take the weight over the front leg. And then come on up. Lovely. Pause, drop the shoulders. Teeny tiny little back bend that just opens up the chest. Now that's very, very small. And then come back up tall. So one more time here, I want you to fold forwards, taking the weight over that front leg. Keep rolling into that back outside foot. And then if you come back up, 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 lovely and tall, relax your arms down. What I want us to do here is to develop this into crescent lunge. So from warrior one into crescent lunge. So both these poses look very similar. I want you to come up onto your back toes and just swivel the hip around to point forwards. So you're going to feel a little bit more unbalanced now. We're going to drop down into that crescent lunge. So hold that balance. Maybe your arms would like to come up a little bit. Just drop as low as you feel comfortable, keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips. And then we're going to push up. We're just going to drop one more time. Keep staring at something that isn't moving. So dropping into that little crescent lunge. Lovely. Come on up. Drop the foot back down to your 45 degrees. And then we're going to wiggle our feet together so we can step in. And let's have a big step back with our left foot this time. So let's just arrange ourselves. Left foot is at 45 and we've taken that big step forwards. Feel like you're rolling into the outside edge of that left foot. So if we bring those arms on up, let's bend into that front foot a little. So you might need to just adjust your feet, so don't be worried about doing that. Teeny tiny little back bends, they're very small. And then we're thinking about tabletopping. So framing, taking the weight onto that front leg, stretching away into those fingertips. Coming back on up. Drop the shoulders as you frame the ears, roll into that left outside edge. Tiny little back bend. And then again come forwards. Tabletop. Come up lovely and tall. Beautiful, lovely. So we're going to bring those arms all the way down by your side. We're going to come up onto our tippy toes at the back, swivel the hip round to face front, and we're going to drop down slightly into that crescent lunge. So maybe your arms come up if you would like. Oh, hold that balance. Keep staring at something. Little push up to top, and again drop down crescent lunge. Lovely, come on up, drop the heel, back to your 45, stepping in. Lovely. Right guys, have a little traverse back so that you've got some space in front of you, because we're dropping down now to our hands and our knees. So let's go down to the floor in the most comfortable way that we can. So if you come on down gently, hop on down, lovely job, and then just square yourself up in that hands and knees posture. Draw that belly button up and lift up through the upper back as well. So we're going to be stepping into our pigeon stretch, so hopefully you've got a bit of room behind you. Have a little look. Before we do that, I want you to imagine you've got a tail, and I just want you to sweep your tail side to side. So I want you to just take your tail side to side. You can turn your head if you like, just to see if you can see the edge of that tail as it turns around. So keep that belly button drawn on up. And then just pause in the center. Step your right knee forwards. Bring the left foot up so you can tuck the right foot underneath your left hip. So if you've got a bump here, there should be enough room for you to just pop that bump in the center. If you want to go lower to the floor, please do. If you've got a bump, you're going to find that uncomfortable depending on how big it is. And you might just feel more comfortable staying up high anyway. So we're looking at this stretch here around the glute and opening across your hip flexor on that left side. If you're low to the floor, just start to come on back up to full arms. And then if you do a little tuck of your back toes, come up, slide the foot underneath so we can come back to center. Even yourself up a second and take your tail side to side. So just release that lower back again. So you're really isolating your pelvis here, tucking from side to side. One more to the left. And then if you pause in the middle, step your left knee forwards. Let's come underneath. And then back we go, wiggle, wiggle. And then just find a bit of comfort in that pigeon stretch. So if you need to adjust so that that bump has got a bit of space to fall into, then super, no problem at all. It's all about adaptation if you are pregnant, and just making those poses and those stretches work for you and keeping you comfortable. stretching left glute and right hip flexor here. If you're low to the floor, start to come up a little bit. And then if we just have a little tuck on our back toes, come on up with that leg, squeeze it on under, come back to the centre and even yourself up. So draw up belly, draw up upper back. Let's extend that wagging tail slightly. So what I want you to do this time is take your left leg out behind you. Now we're going to sweep this left leg over the right one. So just like we did when we were wagging our tail. And then as you come back to centre, I want you to tuck your left leg in towards your elbow. We're going to stretch out again. And then we're just going to tuck over. You can tap the floor if you like. Back to the centre, you can bring that knee in. Let's just do that one more time. So out we go, stretch, over, have a little look at those toesies, come back, into the centre, take your knees wider if you've got a bump, and then just sit yourself down into child's pose. So before we do the other side, we just take the weight off your wrists, and just give your wrists a lovely roll there. Lovely. Okie dokie, and then if we pop up. So let's think about taking the right leg out. So we're going to go right leg out behind us, lift up belly button and upper spine, and then we just tuck that leg over the left one. You might like to have a little look at it. Comes back to the centre, and we just draw the knee in under the chest, pushing away, have a little kick over. Come on back, little tuck. So we're just going to do that one more time. So if you just extend, sweep over, lovely, come back to the centre, and then bring in, and we're going to sit into child's pose one more time. So go wider if that's more comfortable, and just sit that weight back and down. And if you want to stay up higher on those arms, if bump's getting quite big, then stay up higher. If you've still got room to comfortably come down onto your forearms, as long as those knees are wide, then feel free to do that as well. And then let's just start to bring ourselves up. So use those hands on the floor to just help you rebuild the spine all the way up to the top, and relax your shoulders. Lovely. So let's go ahead and have a really nice stretch for your lower back. So we'll pop onto the floor, however you find it most easiest to get down. Down you go. So supporting yourself as you go down onto the floor with those elbows. So let's come up onto tippy toes just behind your bottom. I want you to glue your legs together. So glue your knees and your feet. And then just go lovely and wide with those arms. Shuffle the shoulders so they relax down into the floor. And let's just take a lovely bit of release time for that lower back. So if we have a rock side to side. So side to side with those knees. Gradually make your rock a little bit bigger. So make that rock a little bit bigger. Lovely. A little bit bigger still. Next time over to your right side, guys. Plop down into the floor. So just let the knees come over. And if you need to adjust your feet, if you need to push them a bit further away from you so it all feels comfortable, then you please do that. Turn your head away. And then the head comes back up. We squeeze through to the centre. Come back onto your tippy toes and just have that lovely rock again from side to side. So just go side to side. Start making it a little bit bigger. So rolling across that lower back. And then if you go ahead, pop all the way down into the left side. So down you go. Maybe looking out right side. And then come back to center gently. Pop your arms down by your side and just take those feet hip width apart. Maybe lift the hips and the pelvis and then bring yourself back down into neutral. So imagine you've glued that lower spine, the back of your trousers, into the floor. And we're going to take single leg stretch here. So the whole time through the exercise, we're going to take a nice easy version, but I want you to keep the feeling of the back of your pelvis being stuck down into the floor. And we're going to make sure that what doesn't happen is that the pelvis starts to tip forward and we start to get that little rise in the lower back. However minor, we really want to keep stuck down to the floor here. So let's draw the belly button in, the pelvic floor up. We go in with our knees. Okay, so we're going to take one leg away to a little point on the clock face where we can feel there's a bit more pressure on the lower belly, but it's not so low to the floor to lift my lower back. Now you can bring that leg back in if you like, or you can join it with the second leg. We can take the first one in and the second one, and then we change which leg we've started with. So if you imagine a clock face, depending on your lower spine and your lower tummy muscles, so you can hear me shake there as my tummy muscles work to keep the lower back down, your feet are going to be pointing anywhere from 12, half 12, 1, half 1. As long as you can keep that lower back stuck down into the floor, then I'm happy. Okay? So we're going to do, we need to do 2 more after this so that we're equal. Lovely. So we're going to do 1 more with each leg starting. Lovely. Last one with that left leg leading. And then I want you just to pop your tiptoes gently on the floor. And then I want you to relax your knees open wide. Soles of the feet come together. And just pause there in that nice inner thigh stretch. And then just gently close that one back up again. Step your feet a bit wider, so about the width of your mat if you're on a mat. And just again have a little roll from side to side. Just release that low back. And then the next time you come over to the right side, if you allow yourself to rock all the way into the floor, let the upper body roll over so you can give yourself a little push and come back up to seated. So however you're comfortable sitting, just find that lovely long spine. So let's have a last bit of working through the spine here. So lifting up, stacking the spine, chin and chest. So I want you to actually here drop the chin down. Take that little eye line up towards the ceiling and then just drop down into chest again. And head comes back to neutral. So keep that spine tall. Remember, all these core muscles are working hard just to keep that spine stacked up tall. So we're still working just while we're sitting upright with the spine stacked and the shoulders drawn down. So if you come around to the right side, use your right hand just behind your bottom, so quite close to your bottom, to push up and really lift tall through the length of the spine and into the chest. And then just step round. Left hand right behind your bottom, use it to push you up lovely and tall in that spine stretch. And then just come back to center, Relax the arms. So again, stack that spine up, drop the shoulders. Just take a little drop of right ear to right shoulder. Through the centre, over you go, left side. Centre and drop chin. Head on up. Relax arms. Inhale, breath comes up. Exhale, breath comes down. Last one, inhale comes up. Hands together. Exhale to heart. Drop those shoulders down. Sign off your practice for this morning. So I hope that you feel good after that session. So we've woken the body up, we've limbered up a little bit, checked into any of those areas like neck and lower back that can sometimes feel a little bit uncomfortable. If we've slept a little bit awkwardly, I'm definitely sleeping quite awkwardly now. It's not always a good night's sleep. So hopefully that feels good. Any questions, do leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday morning for another early morning, 8:30, of Pilates and Stretch. So do take care of yourselves, folks. Have a great day, be safe, and I will see you soon.